गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षु श्रिताः सहस्रशो वैशागुं हेड ईमहे असौ यो वसत्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उतैनं विश्वा भूतानि सदृष्टो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीढुषे अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानो हन्तेभ्यो करं नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोरार्त्नियोर्ज्याम् याश्च ते हस्त इषवः पराता भगवो वप अपतत्यधनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षशते शुधे निशीर्य शल्यानां मुखा शिवो नः सुमना भव विज्यन् धनुः कपर्दिनो विशल्यो बाणवागुम् उत अनेशन्नस्येषव आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः याते हेतिम् मीढुष्टमहस्ते बभूवते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधायानातताय धृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्याम् तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो य इषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निधेहितम् शम्भवे नमः नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः नमो हिरण्यबाहवे सेनान्ये दिशां च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्पिञ्जराय त्विषीमते पथीनां पतये नमो नमो बभ्रुषाय विव्याधिने नानां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानां पतये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगतां पतये नमो नमो रुद्राय तथा विने क्षेत्राणां पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानां पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो भुवन्तये वारिवस्कृताय औषधीनां पतये नमो नम उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते पत्तीनां पतये नमो नमः कृत्स्नवीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः नमः सहमानाय निव्याधिन आव्याधिनीनां पतये नमो नमः ककुभाय निषङ्गिने सेनानां पतये नमो नमो निषङ्गिन इषुधिमते तस्कराणां पतये नमो नमो वञ्चते परिवञ्चते स्तायूनां पतये नमो नमो निचेरवे परिचरायारण्यानां पतये नमो नमः सृकाविभ्यो जिघागुंसद्भ्यो मुष्णतां पतये नमो नमोऽसि मद्भ्यो नक्तञ्चरद्भ्यः प्रकृन्तानां पतये नमो नमः उष्णीषिणे गिरिचराय कुलुञ्चानां पतये नमो नमः इषुमद्भ्यो धन्वाविभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आतन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिदधा यानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नम आगच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमोऽस्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नम आसीनेभ्यश्च यानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वपद्भ्यो जाग्रद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तिष्ठद्भ्यो धावद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो अश्वेभ्योऽश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नम आव्याधिनीभ्यो विविध्यन्तीभ्यश्च वो नमो नम उगणाभ्यस्त्रिगुंहतीभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गृत्सेभ्यो गृत्सपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो व्रातेभ्यो व्रातपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गणेभ्यो गणपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो विरूपेभ्यो विश्वरूपेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो महद्भ्यः शुल्लकेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथिभ्यो रथेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः सेनाभ्यः सेनानिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः क्षत्रुभ्यः सङ्ग्रहीतृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तक्षभ्यो रथकारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः पुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो निषादेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः इषुकृद्भ्यो धन्वकृद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमो मृगयुभ्यश्वनिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः श्वभ्यश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च नमः शर्वाय च पशुपतये च नमो नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च नमः कपर्दिने च व्युक्तकेशाय च नमः सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो गिरिशाय च शिपिविष्टाय च नमो मीढुष्टमाय च शुमते च नमो ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो बृहते च वर्षीयसे च नमो वृद्धाय च संवृद्धने च नमो अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय च नमः आशवे च जिदाय च नमः शीघ्राय च शीभ्याय च नमः ऊर्म्याय च वस्वन्याय च नमः स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय च परजाय च नमो मध्यमाय च पगल्भाय च नमो जघन्याय च बुद्ध्याय च नमः सोऽभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो जाम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नमः उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नमः श्लोक्याय च वसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नमः आशुषेणाय चाशुरथाय च नमः शूराय च वभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिणे च वरूथिने च नमो बिल्विने च कवचिने च नमः श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय च हनन्याय च नमो धृष्णवे च प्रमृषाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निशङ्गिने चेषुधिमते च नमस्तीक्ष्णे शवे च युधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सूत्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैशन्ताय च नमः कूप्याय च वट्याय च नमो वर्ष्याय च वर्ष्याय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नम ईध्र्याय च तप्याय च नमो वास्त्याय च रेश्म्याय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय च नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय च अरुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नम उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमस्तीर्थ्याय च कूल्याय च नमः पार्याय च भार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नम आतार्याय च लाद्याय च नमः षष्ट्याय च फेन्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च प्रवाह्याय च नम इरिण्याय च प्रपथ्याय च नमः किगुंशिलाय च क्षगणाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्ठ्याय च गृह्याय च नमस्तल्प्याय च गेह्याय च नमः काट्याय च गह्वरेष्ठाय च नमो हृदय्याय च निवेश्याय च नमः पागुंसव्याय च रजस्याय च नमः शुष्क्याय च हरित्याय च नमो लोप्याय चोलप्याय च नम ऊर्व्याय च सूर्म्याय च नमः पर्ण्याय च पर्णशद्याय च नमोपगुरमाणाय चाभिघ्नते च नम आखिदते च प्रखिदते च नमो वह्किरिकेभ्यो देवानागं हृदयेभ्यो नमो विक्षीणकेभ्यो नमो विचिन्वत्केभ्यो नम आनिर्हतेभ्यो नम आमीवत्केभ्यः द्रापे अन्धसस्पते दरिद्रं नीललोहिता येषां पुरुषाणामेषां पशूनां माभेर्मा रोमो येषां किञ्चनाममत् या ते रुद्रशिवा तनूः शिवा विश्वाह भेषजी शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजी तया नो मृडजीवसे हिमागुं रुद्राय तपसे कपर्दिने क्षगद्वीराय प्रभरामहे मतिम् यथा नश्यवसद्विपदे चतुष्पदे विश्वं पुष्टं ग्रामे अस्मिन्ननातुरम् मृडानो रुद्रोतनो मयस्कृधि क्षगद्वीराय नमसा विधेमते यच्छञ्च योश्च मनुरागजे पिता तदश्याम तव रुद्रप्रणीतौ मानो महान्तमुतमानो अर्भकं मान उक्षन्तमुतमान उक्षितम् मानो वधीः पितरं मोत मातरं प्रियामानस्तनुवो रुद्ररीरिषः मानस्तोकेतनये मान आयुषि मानो गोषु मानो अश्वेषु रीरिषः वीरान्मानो रुद्रभामितो वधीर्हविष्मन्तो नमसा विधेमते आरात्ते गोघ्न उत पूरुषघ्ने क्षगद्वीराय सुम्नमस्मेते अस्तु रक्षा च नो अधि च देव ब्रूह्यथा च नः शर्म यच्छद्विबर्हाः स्तुहि श्रुतं गर्तसदंयुवानं मृगन्न भीममुपहत्तुमुग्रम् मृडाचरित्रे रुद्रस्तवानो अन्यन्ते अस्मन्निवपन्तु सेनाः परिणो रुद्रस्य हेतिर्वृणक्तु परित्वेषस्य दुर्मतिरघायोः अवस्थिता मघवद्भ्यस्तनुष्वमीढ्वस्तोकायतनजाय मृडजा मीढुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्यं वसान आचर पिनाकं बिभ्रदागहि विगिरित विलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगं हेतयोऽन्यमस्मन्निपपन्तु ताः सहस्राणि सहस्रधा बाहुवोस्तव हेतयः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाकृधी सहस्राणि सहस्रशो ये रुद्रा अधिभूम्याम् तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्मसि अस्मिन्महत्यर्णवेऽन्तरिक्षे भवा अधि नीलग्रीवाश्रितिकण्ठाः शर्वा अधः क्षमाचराः नीलग्रीवाश्रितिकण्ठादिवगुं रुद्रा उपश्रिताः ये वृक्षेषु सस्पिञ्जरा नीलग्रीवा विलोहिताः ये भूतानामधिपतयो विशिखासः कपर्दिनः ये अन्नेषु विविध्यन्ति पात्रेषु पिबतो जनान् ये पथां पथि रक्षय ऐलभृदायव्युधः ये तीर्थानि प्रचरन्ति सृगावन्तो निषङ्गिणः य एतावन्तश्च भूजागुंसश्च दिशो रुद्रावितस्थिरे तेषागुं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्मसि नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्यां येऽन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि येषामन्नं वातो वर्षमिषभस्तेभ्यो दश प्राचीर्दश दक्षिणा दश प्रतीचीर्दशोदीचीर्दशोर्ध्वास्तेभ्यो नमस्ते नो मृडयन्तु तेजन् विष्मोजश्च नो द्वेष्टितं वोजम्भे दधामि त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् यो रुद्रो अग्नौ यो अप्सुज ओषधीषु यो रुद्रो विश्वा भुवनाभिवेश तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु तमुष्टु हि यस्विषुः सुधन्वाजो विश्वस्य क्षयति भेषजस्य यक्ष्वा महेशौ मनसाय रुद्रन्नमोभिर्देवमसुरन्दुवस्य अयं मे हस्तो भगवानयं मे भगवत्तरः अयं मे विश्वभेषजोऽयं शिवाभिमर्शनः एते सहस्रमयुतं पाशा मृत्यो मत्याय हन्तवे तान् यज्ञस्य मायया सर्वानवयजामहे मृत्यवे स्वाहा मृत्यवे स्वाहा ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय विष्णवे मृत्युर्मे पाहि प्राणानां ग्रन्थिरसि रुद्रो मा विशान्तकः तेनान्येनाप्यायस्व सदा शिवोम् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः।
Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bhed Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Gukarastvandhakaro Vai Gukarastvanivartakaha Andhakaru Nirodhitvat Gururittya Vidhiyate Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So let's recite the Gita verse maybe 3 times, just so that it resonates in our mind. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. So this is an important verse which is used to explain a number of things about our lives, and it's often referred to by the scholars of Vedanta. So it's I thought that we would spend some time just discussing it. This is also taken up in the Panchadashi, the 6th chapter of Panchadashi, and specifically it is the 171st verse of the 6th chapter of Panchadashi, exactly as it is. And it consists of a series of verses by Vidyaranyaji to explain the presence of Ishvara in our life. And in a way you can say the presence of us in Ishvara's life. This is probably a better way to look at it. Because I think the issue that we should be very clear about is that there are a number of things that are already going on. There are just a whole set of things that are in place into which I enter. And as my entry is complete, what happens, I get a somewhat of a distorted view about my identity. Now, I get a distorted view because the things that are already there and therefore don't belong to me are taken to be mine. This is what happens. It's just like, a very simplistic example of a wave of an ocean. When the wave appears in the ocean is already there. Everything about the water and the qualities of the water, what it can do, what it cannot do, what are the possibilities, all of those kinds of things are already there. But the wave adopts those things that are already there and then has an identity as though it possesses it. And which is fine, you can do that, there's no problem in doing that. But then gets trapped into it, trapped into the sense of limitation. So with respect to that, the teaching of the Vedanta is that please try to understand what is already there in your life. Try to guess it. So this is exactly the understanding of Ishvara. And the understanding of Ishvara means, because we say, where is Ishvara? Not sure. We even though we have Shraddha, and the word Shraddha here is important because, just as a quick side commentary on it, so the Shraddha is a very unique word which means a verifiable belief. In fact, we don't really have an exact equivalent to the English word faith. But we can say, and Swami Dayananji was very good in explaining all this, that faith means an unverifiable belief. It means that you will never know. And in fact, even the promise of the Purva Vedas, the Karma Kandas, is also a faith. Because that means that where you will go to Swargaloka or not, which kind of Swargaloka you will go to, you'll never know this. You can only just have a faith. When you are there, you won't recognize, yes, that's where I was thinking of and now I'm very happy to be here. That won't happen. You'll have a brand new identity. Just like in our life also, we have an identity where we have no relationship to our identity in the previous life. We just have brand new, fresh identity. So therefore, that belief is called faith. But in Vedanta, this is the beauty of it is, that the word Shraddha means verifiable belief. So what that means is that for a while it seems that it is not there because my understanding is not complete. And until then it looks like a non-verifiable belief. It's a faith. But there is a big difference because there is a process through which the non-verifiable belief should be turned into verifiable belief, into something that says, my God, this is what it was said, this is really true. And that can happen in our life, and it should happen in our life. It will happen in our life. It can only happen to a living person. So any kind of a thinking that maybe it happened once I die. If you, okay, fine, you can die, but then again you'll be born as a living person, and that's where the verifiable belief will have to be present to you. So therefore, what is said is that right now our belief, our Shraddha towards Ishvara is very elementary, childish. We don't know where it is, where Ishvara is. We have a certain Shraddha towards Ishvara, but the whole presence of Ishvara is very rudimentary and wrong in that sense. And so therefore an attempt to get an idea of what is already there that I am now using as mine is an important one. So to understand Ishvara and the presence and not just the presence but the Mahima, the beauty of Ishvara's creation, once I do that, I relax in my own thinking, and that opens up my mind. It's an iterative process. The more I relax, the more my mind gets receptive to new ideas. The more my mind gets receptive to new ideas, my mind relaxes, and it's an iterative process. So therefore, an understanding of Ishvara as a way for me to understand myself. Ultimately, really, what we are interested in is what is going to happen to me? Who am I? What's my future? How do I become happy? That's what is true for everything. And the way to do that is to understand exactly what is going on in that sense. So what I'm saying is that the study of Ishvara is not just academic. It is very much tied to my own understanding. So Swami Vidyaranya and all over the place have tried to explain what's already there in terms of Ishvara, and we'll take a small view of it today, and you will see some sample. It's not a complete one. This is actually in a section in Panchadashi where 4 aspects of Parameshwara, Ishvara, are talked about. So those are Ishvara as a Mayi. Mayi means, if you want, I can even write some of this down so that you are at least familiar with the terms. I won't go into all 4. I will concentrate on the one that, but just to give you a So those 4 are Ishvara's 4 different aspects of Ishvara, 4 ways of looking at Parameshwara is Parameshwara as a Mayi, then okay. So these are the four aspects of Ishvara that are discussed specifically in this section of the sixth chapter of the Panchadashi. And each one of these four aspects is sketched out in quite a bit of detail and very beautiful. Perhaps we'll do that sometime. So just a very quick summary of this, and then we are going to focus in on this one, Antaryami, which is the subject matter of this particular verse of the Gita, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. So Mai means the one who is known through Maya, one who is visible, who's visible through the Maya. And the best way to look at it is, this is a good way, we all know this, I'm just revising all of your knowledge, is that you can never look at yourself without looking at your reflection. There's no way to look at yourself. You cannot look at your own eyes. You can look at your eyes through a reflection. And so similarly, Ishvara is yourself. How are you going to know Ishvara? You're not going to look around and say, where is Ishvara? The more you look at it, the more you'll be falsely looking at it. But the way to look at Ishvara is through the reflection of Ishvara in Maya. And when you're looking at the reflection of Ishvara through the Maya, you are trying to understand, how that is the case. You look at, even the looking of Maya is also incomplete unless you understand what to look for. Here recently in one of the texts that Swami Paramarthananda was talking about, and just as a quick detour on Maya. So what he was summarizing very nicely, I think, is that one thing we should do is to look for three aspects of Maya, which allows us to understand Maya in the right way. And therefore, through the understanding of Maya in the right way, you understand Ishvara in the right way. And so the three aspects of Maya, I'll just summarize it very quickly, I won't go into much detail, is that one is, it has infinite variety. Infinity is the very essence of Maya. Just incredible incredible variety. Hard to believe. This is number one. The second one is continuous change. Nothing remains the same. It is just moving from one state to the other. So one is the variety. The other one is the change. The third one, perhaps the most important one for us, this is something we need to really, this is given for us to understand, but we have to own it, and that is that in addition to the variety and the change, it's a puzzle you will never solve. It's a mystery. If you think you will try to understand Maya, you're knocking on the wrong door. And the best part about it is it is not necessary for you to understand the puzzle. It's a magic. Because, and this is important too, because you find that if you look at many of the fine minds in the world, scientists and philosophers and so on, they're trying to understand the puzzle. We can do it. We can figure it out. We are almost close to it. There's a couple of things we don't, this couple of things that we don't understand is always the constant. You cannot completely understand it. And the beauty of Vedanta is that please set your expectations in a way where you know that this is, don't waste your time. In other words, chasing for a clear explanation of Maya. For two reasons. One is that is a fact. This is what is called anirvachaniya. So anirvachaniya means one cannot be specifically defined in black and white. And so a very simple example of that is the ornaments of gold. Is it there or is it not there? In terms of the example of the gold. The gold is there for sure, it's the truth. And in that sense, non-gold is not there. But the ornaments either are neither here nor not there. You cannot say it is not there. But you cannot say that it is there because it changes, it disappears. And so, therefore, this is the puzzle of the Maya. And the one that is known through this aspect, and by the way, just to close off of that, one is that you will never know it exactly. Most importantly, it is not necessary for you to know that exactly. Because the question remains that, am I trapped in non-understanding? No. What it means is, if you look at the Maya the right way, you will find all your questions are answered by looking at yourself. And it is not necessary to complete your sense of wanting by understanding Maya. Just admire the magic. And through the magic, admire the magician, the power. So that one is the first one, which is Mayi. The one which is known through Maya, one who is the wielder of Maya. The Maya itself you can never understand, but you can understand the wielder of the Maya. And that's all that it really is important. So that's the first one. Antaryami we're going to spend the rest of the time on today, so I'll defer on it. Sarvagyaha means that all creation, all knowledge, all capability, all limitations are known to Ishvara. There is nothing that the Ishvara doesn't already know, because he is the very creator of it. Through the sense, oftentimes we say, where is Ishvara? I'm having such hard time in my life. I hope he knows what I'm going through. I need to do some prayer and remind him. He knows already. Anyway, so that's just a very short one, and so on. And then the last one, called Jagat Karanam, is the one that we are just currently starting to think of it, to study in the second verse of Dakshinamurti Stotra. Moola Karanam. Atma Moola Karanam. And so just very quickly, what we are studying there is that, so Karanam means the cause of the creation. And the cause of anything is better than the effect of it, because cause is superior to effect. It is where the effect came from. So I need to know, where did things come from? What is the reason for it? So that is the karanam. And the idea is that perhaps, as we were studying in the Dakshinamurti Stotram, the idea is that if I can understand what's causing my problem, as an example, I'm just giving you one example, perhaps I can remove that cause. And what is said is that from a vyavaharika standpoint, from a transactional standpoint, that may be possible. Well, you have a medical problem and you say, what's causing this? I need to understand it. Yes, you can understand it to a certain degree. So from a vyavaharika standpoint, yes, a search and an ascertainment of finding the karanam may be beneficial. But from a paramarthika standpoint, it is not necessary and not possible either. Paramarthika standpoint means that the ultimate, the mula karanam, that's the word mula karanam, means the ultimate cause. Why am I like this? Well, you are like this because you were brought up this way. Well, why was I brought up this way? Well, you were born into a particular family. Why was I born into a particular family? So you can keep on going and going. You'll never get the answer. And the reason it is said is you don't need, it's just very similar to the Mai discussion. It is not necessary for you to look for the mula karanam. Why? Because you are the mula karanam. Atma and Ishvara, which is already there, is the mula karanam. As Swami Dayanand Ji used to say, I think we have talked about this many times, you are the problem, you are the solution. The sooner you stop blaming others, the better off you will be. The better off you will be. And so this is what is called Jagat Karanam. So these are the four things that Vidyaranya Ji has beautifully explained. Now let's come to the main topic in hand today. Okay. So that is Ishvara as an antaryami. So here there is a definition given in Brihadaranyaka. The word antaryami, the English, kind of like an English translation of the word antaryami means an inner controller. So in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, this topic is taken up in great detail, and there the definition is, I'll give you the Sanskritam for it. Ante tishthan yamayati iti. Staying inside, within you, one that regulates, controls, keeps things working, is called antaryami. Okay? So that's just the definition of the word antaryami. Now, let's see how. This is where this verse is very, very beautiful and useful. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhini mayaya. So this verse, each word in this verse is explained by Vidyaranya ji in great detail and further very beautifully brought out by Swami Maheshanand ji on this. Okay. So the first question is, in our mind, where does Ishvara reside? Where does Ishvara reside? Because we have this is a basic question we have. Where do I find Ishvara? So right away, this first thing is pointed out. Sarvabhutanam hriddeshe. Ishvara resides in the heart of all pranis. So pranis means bhutani. So here bhutani means pranis. Pranis means those who are pranadharana, pranadharis. Pranadharis or equals jivaha. Jivani. And so here it means Sukshma Sharira Abhimani. So here the prani or sarvabhutani, actually it's very interesting, the word sarvabhuta refers to both those like you and I that are endowed with sukshma sharira, and part of the sukshma sharira is prana, means we are alive, we reflect the consciousness very well. Anyone, ants, insects, and even plants for that matter, are called pranis. So the word bhutani includes those, of course, and that's the ones that are being specifically referred to in this verse. But bhutani also means non-sukshma sharirani, like tables. So Prithvi, Akasha, etc., all of them are also bhutani. And it will be shown elsewhere that Ishvara is the antaryami for even them. And how we can tell is that they obey the laws of Ishvara without any asking. So this is why Swami Maheshanji was saying, you can predict what the configuration of the stars will be 1,000,000 years from now, and it will be there. It is so precise that astrology and astronomy and all of that can be done. The precision of it, the sun and the moon, and how there's some variations. Those are also predictable. But there is someone that regulates all of that. So the Sarvabhutani means the regulator of even the non-sukshma shariras. So in fact it is called Bahiryami. The one is Antaryami. From the standpoint of the sukshma sharira, us, you can say Antaryami, as we will go in a minute, and then Bahiryami also. So he also regulates the outside as well as inside. Nothing is, it's not as though he only is responsible for for the Sukshma Sharira and somebody else is responsible for that. No. Both of them. And in fact, what it said is that both a carrot and stick should be used in understanding this. Bhayam, of fear, just like you have here, I think we had taken up this example, I remember, I think it was in Mandukya Karika somewhere, Swami Maheshananji has pointed out beautifully. This will come up in more detail in a minute, that in an organization, there are two ways to control the population or to make, like a company or even a small shop. Let's say you have a shopkeeper that runs a business. There are two ways you can get people to work. So one is by fear. If you don't do your job, we're going to fire you. You better show up for work. You have committed to it. We are giving you a salary, and it's important that we see you at 8 o'clock, open the shop, and stay there until 5:30 or whatever. The second one is through a culture of working. You have the joy of people come there, they talk to each other, have coffee in the morning, and they have a certain sense of belonging. And there's no fear there, but the joy of working. So Ishvara uses both of them. And the fear is always there. You may not be afraid of Ishvara, but you are afraid of doing the wrong thing. And you know that if you do the wrong thing, you'll be published. You'll be punished. So we already know that. But we do not realize how Ishvara regulates us, and we'll go into this a bit more detail, but I'm just giving you a sample of that. How Ishvara regulates us through the second one, which is the culture, the love, and so on. And in fact, why don't we just look at this? It may be a little bit out of sequence, but since we are on that topic, we'll... So, now let's look at, to explain this point, the point that how we are regulated automatically by Ishvara. Each one of us. So we're regulated in two ways. One is the fear of doing the wrong thing. The other one is through love. How? This is given in great detail in the study of the 5 koshas, believe it or not. So koshas, as you know, we have the outer layer, which is Annamaya kosha. So the word maya here means preponderance. So maya means, anna means food, and so the outer body is preponderantly made out of food. So Annamaya kosha. Then we have so this is the physical body. Then we have the physiological body, which is Pranamaya kosha. Right? Then we have the more subtle aspect of ourselves, which is Manomaya kosha. Means the ability to think. And so it's much more sophisticated. than even just breathing and physiological. The physiology helps all of this. Then comes number 4 and 5, which is relevant to our discussion. One is Vijnanamaya Kosha. And the 5th one is Anandamaya Kosha. And the reason these two are relevant for our discussion is the following. Follow this in a very organized way. The identity of Vijnanamaya Kosha is the identity of the jiva. The jiva, the prani, the pranadharani. So when you say I, that is Vijnanamaya Kosha. That is one aspect of yourself. It is not you, but that clearly reflects you. And so this is what is called Hridaya. Hridaya means the heart. So Hridaya, so when you say Ishvara Sarvabhutanam, Hrid Deshe Arjuna Tishtati. Hrid Desha means the place where the heart is. And so here, not the physical heart is meant, but the logical heart. So when you say I felt so bad, and the center of your heart is where it is, the sense of me. And the fingers also go here. You don't really mean this particular heart, but you mean in general. I wish I could have done that. I was so upset. And so on. So this I. So this is the ahankara. This is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. And Sri Krishna is saying, do you know where Ishvara is located? Hey Arjuna, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hrid Deshe Tishtati. So if you want to have a question, where is Ishvara? Look at your own heart. How? I thought that was me. Yes, I don't see any Ishvara around here. This is just me. I am left on to myself. I am alone. And I have to take care of my own life. I don't understand how Ishvara has gotten into the picture. And so, this is where the connection to the controlling through love and culture, remember the one that we had left complete, is now fixed. That is the Anandamaya Kosha. How? Because any joy, any ananda is the content, the swarupa of Ishvara. And no one has to tell anyone, any jiva, please be happy. All jivas know it. All their actions, their things in life, their attitudes is all meant for Ananda. And the Anandamaya Kosha, and this is not just me talking, I'm telling you this is the view of Vedanta. I'm just learning. So this one is good to see. Vijnanamaya Kosha, you can say, this is not wrong to say, is Jivaha. And Anandamaya Kosha is Ishvara. How? Because the Anandamaya Kosha is the origin of Vijnanamaya Kosha. You are a person who is searching for Ananda. And Ananda is the nature of Ishvara. So Ishvara expresses, and Ishvara is the content of each jiva. So we want to say, what do I consist of? Where is my origin? What is my cause? What is my content? Where is my material? Whose material? My material. Me. My material. Then it is Anandamaya Kosha. This is how the Antaryami regulates. This is how, so for example, in the case of going back to the simplistic example of this shop, where, and you've heard stories where the business people can either rule through fear, or they can regulate through love and culture, where you say, this is a very beautiful thing, please join us and do the best you can, and you would like it. And so people work in the shop not because they have to, but they enjoy it. And so exactly the same thing is there in Ishvara Srishti. And so if you have to look for the presence of Ishvara, you look for your search for Ananda in your own heart. This is the word, this is how the word Rama and Krishna come about. So Rama means, so each one of these words, as you know, has two ways of looking at it. One is called Rudhi Artha. Rudhi Artha means popular meaning. So when you say Rama, that means the Ayodhya Rama. But there's also a Vyutpatti Artha. Vyutpatti Artha means a derived meaning. And the derived meaning of Rama is Ramante Asmin iti Rama. Ramante Asmin. If I can write it down. Means in English, the one in which I revel in, enjoy. So Rama is also nothing but your own self. Similarly, Krishna. So Krishna also, of course, is the Gita Krishna, or you can say from it, and you say Akarshati iti. Akarshati means one that attracts, one which is natural to you. And so it looks like that our anandas are all. This is a good example, a beautiful example to see how we make a mess of our lives. Because we make a mess of our lives because what is all, as I mentioned in the very beginning, what is already there, we confiscate it as mine. And so the ananda is exactly the same way. What really attracts us is the being joyful. The joyfulness is the same for everyone. It is already there. And all I am doing is tapping it and calling it as me. So from that perspective, you can see that Anandamaya is my content, which is common to everyone, which is only one source of that, which is Ishvara. But then I particularize it to myself. And just to complete this picture, the Annamaya Kosha, of course, changes with each life. But the Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, and then specifically Vijnanamaya Kosha. Because Vijnanamaya Kosha means me. And then you cannot just be me without having details of who am I. So you are you because of your thoughts. So that's where the Manomaya Kosha goes. How am I going? How long will I be alive in this life? That is Pranamaya Kosha. So those are just nothing but a manifestation of Vijnanamaya Kosha. But the Vijnanamaya Kosha is the one where Ishvara manifests itself. And so really speaking, our understanding of Ishvara should become knowledgeable and sophisticated. And so this is the one thing that we have to show. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tisthati. Okay, so I think we have pretty much covered the first line of the verse. There's, through the Anandamaya Kosha, it expresses itself as in me, and I'm searching for myself. So what happens is that when I have joy for something, then because I don't know that it is really my own nature, I look for it outside of me, and so I get Brahma. So now we are beginning to look into the second verse of the verse, which is built around the word Brahma. So Brahma means here lots of different meaning of it. You can say confused, misdirected, ignorant also, expression of ignorant, all those kinds of things. Brahma. So as an example is that I don't yet see that whenever I have some sensory joy, that really comes from myself. I don't see that. This is the Brahma. It seems to come from outside, when in fact it is emanating from myself. The consciousness, the self, which is the Anandamaya Kosha, is the only source of Ananda. You don't have any. Others are there just to express it. This I don't know. And this is called Brahma, as in one example of it. But now let's go into more details about the second line. So the English translation of the second line would be, let's look at this. So first one is clear, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. The second one is Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantra Arudhani Mayaya. The meaning of that, the English translation would be that Ishvara makes all the Bhutani, here again the same Bhutan, Sarva Bhutanam, Sarva Bhutani means here all the pranis, makes the various jivas Brahmayan means it makes him confused, makes the people confused by yantra arudhani, by mounting. Rudhani means to mount, M-O-U-N-T, mount, to be united with. Mounting the various instruments of the jiva. So this is confusing in the such, but it will become clearer as we go through. So I don't have an English translation. So in the Hindi, Swami Maheshananji's commentary is to make people move around. Ghumata hai. In English, in Hindi is ghumana. So ghumana means to wander, to be misdirected. And so this will become clearer as we go through the meaning of each one of them. So anyway, so same Ishvara through Maya. Maya means with the help of through the Maya, he makes the various instruments, he mounts the instruments of Ishvara and makes them get moving around confused. Exactly what happens. Okay, so now here the analogy of a kind of like, you go to these fairs, and in the fair you mount a merry-go-round. This is a good example to use here. And Swami Vidyananda gives this in great detail. So you can either say that you can ride a horse, and the sophisticated ones, the horses are moving up and down as you are moving on it. Or you can say one of those things that go kind of like this, where you are sitting in a chair and the whole thing is moving up and down. And while you're sitting there, your sense is that I am moving. I am moving. And you don't have stability. You don't have, you're actually, you get some, your mind goes, you may not be able to stand. This is something like the children do, you just go round and round and round. After a while, you cannot have stability, you'll fall down. So the movement gives you non-stability. I am moving. So this is exactly how Ishvara makes us move. Now let's get into the details of it. How? So the first thing is yantra. Yantra rudhani. Yantra means the instruments. By mounting the instrument. In the case of this example, the instrument will be that you actually mount the merry-go-round. So, you're standing in a line and you're just looking at your cell phone and you're quiet and everything. Then your turn comes. And here Swami Paramarthananda had given this beautiful example. He says, I'll write it down. He takes this word entertainment. And he says, very interestingly enough, the first part of the word entertainment is enter. Beautiful, really nicely done. Means you choose to enter. And oftentimes this is what happens, that you go and you say, all right, I'm going to write this. And you are sorry that you did. Absolutely sorry that you did. And the only thing you can do is to close your eyes. That's the best thing. That happened to me. My older granddaughter, this is several years ago, now she's 13. When she was like 7, so we went to Disneyland. We took them to there. So she says, Papa, please come sit down with me. You have to come on this. I said, no, I don't want to do this. This is too tough. She says, no, it'll be okay. Come. She was like 6 or 7. I said, fine. Boy, was I sorry. She was happy and shrieking, and I was saying, where am I? Get me out of here. So this is exactly what happens. Swami Paramarthananda says, it is a voluntary entertainment. And how does Ishvara mount this instrument? This is a very key thing to see. Ishvara mount. So remember, Ishvara we are talking about as the antaryami, sitting inside of you. It makes you move and makes you go crazy. Even though it is entertainment, but you don't see it as entertainment. And why don't you see it as entertainment, and how do you get trapped into it? Because you take the instruments to be yourself. This is how the mounting happens. Through Maya Shakti. You're searching, who am I? I am not sure. And so you now extend your identity to your instruments. And because of that, even though it is entertainment, you suffer the consequences of the entertainment. You got into this, somehow I should never even have agreed to go into this Disneyland thing, but I got into it and I was sorry that I did for just a short time. And so to have the identity with the instrument is the problem. And there is otherwise no other problem. You are actually asangaha. You are absolutely not connected to it anyway. But because you've extended your identity, it makes you move. Swami Maheshanji had given a beautiful example. I think I gave it to you in one of the classes. I'll repeat it here. He said there's a story that you are a house owner, and this is an Indian story. So you're a house owner in India, and one day there was a knock on the door, and one of your neighbors knocks it and says, my daughter is very ill. She's only, she's 10 or 11 years old, and she's extremely ill, and the doctor said that we need a very expensive medicine to save her, and I really don't have the money. I would request if you can give me 500 rupees for this medicine. And this is Swami Maheshanji talking about in 1970 or 80, so today maybe much more than that. But can you please give me some money, because and it's a real case. So Swami Maheshanji says, you'll think about it and you talk to your wife and say, you know what, this money that we give is never going to come back to us. So how much can we give? We cannot give all 500 rupees, that's a bit too much. So you go back to the person and say, listen, can I do this? I'll give you 100 rupees. You kindly go and find the other neighbors to give you 100 each. I'm very sorry I can't give you all, and I sympathize with you, but this is all we can give. So the fellow says, okay, whatever you can do. Go back another 7, 8, 10, 12 years. Your son and that daughter of the neighbor attend the same school, fall in love, and the son asks for the hand of the girl. And she's turned out to be a very beautiful young woman, very well educated, and you say, yes, I think this looks good. So she comes into your house as a daughter-in-law. One day, your son comes in and says, my wife has a headache. And she's had it for several days, and I don't know what's going on. So you say, really? She has a headache? Oh, let's take her to a doctor right now. So he says, can you please help? Sure, absolutely. So he takes her into the car and takes to the best doctor and say, please check her out completely. So Swamiji says, it's the same girl. What is the difference? The difference is you have made her as mine. That's it. At one time, you looked at it as someone else, and as much you can help, but you cannot help everybody. But when it becomes your own mind, you have a different feeling. So now, just look at it. Yantra arudhani mayaya. So Swami Maheshanji says, the way you mount the horse and suffer the consequences is you mount your own instruments. Instruments means the body, the mind, the prana. And here, there are lots of people that have problems. Lots of people get sick, they die. None of that really concerns you. But when it comes to be mine, you go crazy. You go crazy. And you feel, I have to do this. This is important for me. I've got to take care of my own body. I have to do this. Everything else is really secondary at this point in time. And as a result now, you are now in this merry-go-round, going up and down, sometimes up, sometimes down, sometimes ups, and so on. And another thing is that you feel, this is an important thing to see, so we often have questions about that, how can I am the karta, I am the bhokta, I have kartrit, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. Am I not? How can I not be? It is very much like saying, I am going up, I am going down, I am doing this. When in fact, the wielder of the merry-go-round is making you go up and down. So now we can even begin to see the essence of the antaryami. And in closing this, the essence of the antaryami is that not only your current actions, but the influence of your past towards the current events are also done by vasanas through Ishvara. So as the inner controller, Ishvara is responsible for your good and bad actions. And the way it happens is that if some punishment is to be given to you, you are given bad thoughts through your vasanas. And if some joy is to be given to you, they are given to you through your good thoughts. And so really, this is the meaning of the second line. And Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra arudhani mayaya. So really speaking, all the sukha dukkha in our life is through our own attitudes. And for a while you feel this, I am responsible for my own happiness and joy and avoiding problems. I am responsible for it. Yes, you are to an extent. But if you let go and remove your self-identity with all the instruments. Here Swami Paramarthananda had given this very beautiful thing. He said, one of the steps of having non-attachment to your own instruments, which is really the crux of the whole thing. Body identification is the one that is really making me go down. But one of the ways to get there is to view all bodies, including yourself, are more or less the same. Don't single yourself out as I am somebody very different from others. I'm not going to say unique or better or anything, just different. See the fact that, so this is what would be called, I think, a good way, a good sadhana, is to begin to see that the creation is a top-down creation. Top-down creation means in the sense that if the wave, going back to the example, if the wave feels that this is me, yes, it is you, but this is everything. All the waves are the same, more or less. They all share the same water. And in fact, all the thoughts are already there in the whole creation. And you just have to make sure that you don't identify it with the point that you cannot see that you are different from all the thoughts. Asangoham, asangoham. I am completely unattached. You cannot. So, to close off this one more time, Swami Paramarthananda says that one good way to get to the point where you want to have nothing to do with your own instruments is to see that all instruments and I will extend my thoughts to it, that all sources of joy are from the same source of joy. It is Anandamaya Kosha. This makes you relaxed, that there is something going on, and that allows you to then turn your attention towards the Sakshi that you are, the Turiya that you are. You will never have a chance to. It is kind of like, if it gets too disturbing to be in this merry-go-round, get off of it. Get off of it. Because you have a certain identity. For the time being, you are being moved around in this crazy situation. But if you just decide that this craziness is not just my doing, someone else, through my previous vasanas and so on and so forth, this is the way I am, I should just relax and get off of it. So in the very end, I think I'm pretty much covered with all the points that I want to do today. Actually, there's a lot more. Let me see. Swami Meshananji gives what an interesting example. Just amazing. Swami Dayanandi also had given a variation of this example. So he says that suppose you walk into a police station one day and you tell the police superintendent, "Sir, I have killed a man." He said, "What? What did you do?" He says, "Yes, I just murdered a person." And then you are contrite, you're just crying, and I admit to it. So the first thing that the superintendent does is to ask his constable, "Okay, put the arrest him and make sure that he does not escape." And so they put all these, restraints on him and so on. Then they start asking him, "How did it happen? When did it happen? Who was the person that you killed?" And then the superintendent feels that this fellow doesn't say clearly. He is making things up. I don't think he's killed anyone. And he's not able to tell us exactly what it is. But this fellow says, no, I've killed it. You have to punish me. I cannot, you have to do that. So Swami Meshananji says that if you do this, no one, even if you did not commit the crime, no lawyer can save you. And supposing someone actually really did die, so there was a murder. So some crazy scheme, this is called Brahma. This is called Brahma, that I killed that person. Hey, you did not kill that person. You have nothing to do with it. You have no motivation. Because the superintendent asked him, "Why did you kill him?" He says, "I have no idea why I killed him." So this is exactly our situation. Our situation is that I'm a very small person. No. Why are you saying you're a small person? No. Don't argue with me. I'm a very small person. I've got a lot of problems. So Vedanta and Ishvara says, no, 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 you don't have any problems. You are a Sangaha. Don't you see at night time you can immediately, you have just an identity with it. He says, no, 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 I don't care. I have a lot of problems. My mind is going crazy and my body has lots of problems. So the person says, listen, it is all due to identity. In fact, he says, I'll show you what. Swami Maheshanand gives this example. You know, when you're going through a surgery and you have anesthesia, your body is being cut into pieces. Even if you have a pinprick, you will cry, but here your whole thing has been. I remember going through a heart surgery in 1999 when they had open heart surgery. And really just, you know what it is? I still have a mark in here. So they cut open this in two parts, like this. And they take your heart out and they put it on some kind of a machine. And it was a fascinating experience coming back to it, because you are under such deep anesthesia that you have, when you first come out, I remember lying there and it says, who am I? What's going on? You have complete amnesia towards the whole thing. The Swami Maheshanand says, you go through such surgeries, do you feel any pain? If you were indeed your own body, you could not be separated from it, but you can be easily separated it through some simple anesthesia. And there is a natural anesthesia every night. You may have throbbing pains, but when you sleep, there is no pain. So really speaking, you begin to see that you are not that, but you have chosen. Just like this guy said, I have murdered this guy. You've also chosen, no, I am the guilty party. So Vedanta says, oh, wait, you are not guilty. He says, yes, I am. So Swami Maheshanand says, in that case what happens is, if you insist that you are the guilty party, even if you are not guilty, you are given punishment. Because you can tell, yes, I have killed 4 people. So then there is a formula and the judge says 4 people is killed. Oh my gosh, yes, I have to go to section number so and so. Okay, you are done for the whole life. That's it, you are incarcerated. Even if you have not done anything, but you keep on insisting. So here, one last thing, then we can maybe just open up for some questions and so on. There's a very interesting not objection, but a doubt is given. So this is, this whole thing that I have tried to summarize for you goes from verse number 171. This is the one on the Antaryamitvam of Ishvara, from page 17, from verse number 171 to 177 or 170. So in doing so, there is a doubt. And the doubt is, wait a second, did you tell me that really Ishvara is doing everything? Didn't you say that if I have to have some problems, then he gives me wrong kind of, through the vasanas, wrong thoughts? Yes, I said that. Didn't you say that if he wants to give me joy, then he gives me good sort of thoughts? Yes. So, Ishvara is doing the whole thing. What is my role in this? What am I supposed to do? Why should I do anything? This doesn't make any sense to me. If the Ishvara is doing the whole thing, then where is my contribution, my influence or anything like this? Good question, really good doubt. So here, and so this is where the commentaries by these wise Mahatmas come into being. So, and in fact, it is given in the in the verses themselves, and it is really brought out very nicely by Swami Meshan and Jesus. No, you have a role to play. What role do I have to play? What is the sense of my taking some? Yes, you have to take some ownership also. Okay. There are two things you should do. There are two benefits of taking ownership. Okay. This is an important thing to see. Why? What are those two things? One is do have good thoughts. Why should I just have good thoughts? Because the direction of freedom is through good thoughts. So what it means is like a river flowing. The river has a very definite flow from left to right, all going in one direction because it's trying to reach its source, which is the sea. And you are swimming. If you are swimming with the flow of the river, you will have a joyous time. If you try to buck the trend, you'll not be happy. You'll be a struggle. So try to see, even though, so the question is saying that, my old papas and punyas and so on, they're all doing it, making my thoughts good or bad. What am I supposed to do? Well, you know what you can do? When the good thoughts come, amplify them. And when not so good thoughts come, snuff them out. And why you would do that? Because you'll be less concerned with your day-to-day life, good and bad, good and bad, and good and bad, and you begin to see the overall flow which is going toward goodness. So help yourself. Don't swim against the current. This is the first thing that you should do. So there is a certain role for you. It's not as though Ishvara is doing the whole thing, which he is. The whole thing is being managed by Ishvara. Ante tishtan yamayati. So he is the Antaryami, no doubt about it. But you can help him. You can help yourself, not help him, but you can help yourself. Not fight and just be more natural. This is number one. The second one is much more important. The second one is you will not actualize asangatvam until you do this. You will not become non-attached. Why? How do you say that? What's the meaning of your saying this? Because as long as you have this feeling, I am doing everything, I'm responsible for it, the world is huge, antagonistic, I have to fight my way through this, take care of myself, and I'm scared and I am fearful and I'm, all of those kinds of things. If you just let go, it is very much like on a merry-go-round and you're saying, I am the one that is going up and down. I am doing this. You are not doing it, sir. There is something going on. And just relax and get off of it. And so the second reason there is that you should just so relax that you begin to turn your attention towards your non-changing nature, which is Turiya, which is the Sakshi, which is non-attached, because you stop your identity with the body-mind complex. Let it go. Take example from the fact that at night time you are completely unattached to it. That is in fact a fact. So that is the second thing. That is your role. And in a way, the second thing is a consequence of your first role. So it is true that you are in the midst of something which is larger than you, but you do have a role to play. If you want individuality, because there is a certain individuality, in order for that individuality to become effective for you, as opposed to being non-effective, the way to do that is to go with the flow, relax, and just calm down and turn your thoughts towards your own self. And this is not something that can be done overnight. Stay with it. This is how you should do that. But most importantly, you should see that Ishvara is your helper. And it's your helper as staying within you and steering you in the direction that should be gone to. Don't put things in your own hand. Let it go. And so just like if you stop swimming against the river, you don't even have to swim. The river will take you. This is the purpose of this very important verse. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hriddeshe Arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra arudhani maya. So with that I have closed and just say a small prayer and then I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Om asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Yeah.
The Ananda Kosha and Ananda Atma Swarupa, how are they different and how are they similar and what's the relationship?
So the question is the difference and the relationship between Ananda and Anandamaya Kosha. So, so the Anandamaya is an expression of Ananda. So all the koshas are the reflection of the Ananda. So the Ananda means that is the Satchidananda. So in a way you can see, you can say it this way, that if you are standing in front of a mirror and you are looking at your own reflection, then your reflection is very much like you, but it is not you. So the Anandamaya Kosha is the reflection. Ananda is you. And the Anandamaya kosha is very much like you, but it is not you. And in the sense that the Anandamaya also is modulated by the reflection. So all the other things need to be very quiet and so on, in which case, and the mirror has to be clean and the surface has to be nice, then it can be very much like you. But it is not really just you. So the Anandamaya kosha is the expression of Ishvara in you, reflection of Ishvara in you. But the very important one, which is hiding behind you, because you are now searching, not only searching, you are regulating your life to maximize your Anandamaya kosha at any one time, automatically. So it's just like that shopkeeper who says, listen, you just come to the shop for joy and having company. Then people run towards it automatically. You may deviate it from time to time, but eventually what attracts you is something which is natural to the whole shop. So very similar to that is our case, where really if you look at it, you can begin to see similarities in people, that happiness is natural. We may deviate from it, but we come back to it. And so this is one way to see the similarity of everybody. Is the same Ananda for everyone. So that same Ananda which is expressed in the various people would be called the Anandamaya kosha in that sense. Yeah.
The instrument that you refer to, is that our sthula sharira and our sense organs and our body?
Yes, so question is the instrument that is referred to, what exactly is it? Is the sthula sharira? Yeah, the whole thing. So both the sukshma sharira, any sharira, so all the koshas, so both the sukshma sharira as well as the sthula sharira. And the sthula sharira, of course, is temporary. Sukshma sharira is a little bit longer lasting, going over from life to life. But that also is not you. That is also your reflection only. Yeah.
So Ananda is same as happiness?
Yes, it's joy and sense of peace and freedom, and yeah, Ananda is the same. Yeah.
You talked about bad thoughts and good thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
How do you snub the bad thought when it comes?
So I think, so the question is, how does one snub the bad thoughts? Is not to go with them, knowing that our bad thoughts are a result of our past vasanas, due to whatever it is, and as far as possible, let go of it. Don't try to just say stop it, as far as possible. So Swami Dayananji had given this beautiful example. He said, if you have children that are going to high school, and any public high school has kids that are both good and bad. There are some very good people, there are some very bad people, and you cannot avoid them because they're sitting next to you, they're offering you cigarettes in one case, or marijuana or something. Other people are studying. So it's not as though you're going to avoid it. But your direction should be to just say hello to the bad people and just stay away from them. But then to embrace the company of the good people who are studious, who are meaning something. So it's your choice. They're all there all the time. So similarly, in a way, our mind is like a high school. It comes up with all kinds of thoughts and so on. But don't go with it. It's your choice as to, so snuff it means to not forcefully, but ignore it as much as possible. Yeah.
very powerful lecture. I think we should start this on YouTube to, as whether it's an introduction or conclusion or summary for whole Vedanta. I think the analogies you used, I think all of us are blessed
Okay.
to be here today in class.
Good, thank you. Yeah, it's good to, towards the latter part of Swami Dayananji's teaching, and just now, even now, if you look at Swami Viditatmananda's 3-day, I think that camp has already started. So what they do well is to take a single theme, you know, and then bring in the various parts on that theme only. So Swami Dayananji also would take just one theme and spend quite a few days to it. So, but for that to occur, what needs to happen is that the background has to be familiar to people. You cannot do it as the very first thing. So now that we've been studying it for a while, we can actually begin to do these kinds of things. We can go even have a seminar for 2 days where you explore one topic. So yeah, I think we can do more of this sort of thing. Yeah. Well, enjoy your 3-day weekend. Wonderful.